Okay. I'll go back to my idea of the alien abduction here.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. I don't suppose they had sunglasses on, did they? Or something that looks like a sunglass?
Wait, expand on that big time.
Okay. Like it's on a visor, like when you wear a motorcycle and you put it on.
Sake. How do you, come on, Darcy, how could you possibly know that?
Because I've got my eyes closed and I'm looking at them.
You're looking, you mean inside your head? Like I see
Inside
things
my
inside
head.
You're seeing
It was,
visor?
yeah, it was like a visor that, like, at first I thought they were sunglasses, but they're different than sunglasses.
Oh.
So they're like a visor.
Jeez, that's just it. You've done it. That's astounding because each man wore a mask like Robin of Batman wears. Like
Oh, cool.
exactly. They were like a visor, but they were made out of lead. Lead, exactly, lead.
Oh, see,
So
I know there was a texture, but I didn't think it was lead.
it's lead.
Something about his eyes.
They're very bright and staring, aren't they?
Yeah.
I find them startling, even in a black and white photograph. There we go. They're quite startling.
They are.
Okay, they were good. They were good, hardworking, as I said, intelligent gentlemen. They weren't drifters. They weren't fringe lunatics.
No.
They were in their 30s. They were well regarded in their profession as skilled radio and TV technicians. They had a keen interest in electronics. And according to friends, they were keenly interested in spiritualism and scientific spirit contact. What does that mean, Darcy?
Ooh. So they were trying to see if they could actually see spirit. Okay. But they were also looking for the possibility that there were other life forms on our planet.
Okay, so you're getting that from your initial comments at the beginning where you were talking about them seeking something and you said UFOs and aliens right away. So are you now getting more information about that or just getting a stronger sense of it?
I would think that just the feeling is they're scientists on maybe a hobby level, but they're trying to prove something. I still think they were looking for beyond my ghost people. They're looking for something else.
Hey, if you dig the fun, woo-woo alien nature of this episode, you gotta check out our Death in Dyatlov Pass, episode 16. More out-of-the-world weird stuff going on there. Welcome to Seeing Dead People, the slow burn storytelling podcast where our host, Nicola, challenges her psychic friend Darcy to communicate with the dead and unravel historical ghost stories, unsolved true crime mysteries, and all things paranormal. If you want to be spooked, amazed, and entertained, stick around for an astonishing, deep dive convo with the spirits on the other side. And now, RadioSidney presents Seeing Dead People, episode 61, The Lead Masks Mystery.
Hey, Darcy, good evening. It's an evening. How you doing today?
Good evening. I'm fine. Did you know tonight is 100% full moon?
Oh, you're kidding. I love going out and howling. I actually literally go, ooh, when I see a full moon. I love it.
So do I.
Oh, do you? There you go. We have another thing in common. It's also beautiful, clear skies, so it should be spectacular.
It should be tonight.
Good. I shall definitely go out and have a look. Okay, we're going to handle something a little different today, and I'm just going to ask you, because you always trick me, if you have any inklings of what we might talk about before I even start.
I'd love to say yes. Okay. I don't know if it's because my brain's just had overload today, but could I say we're looking for maybe missing people or missing something?
Very close. Yes, I would say we're very close. Yep.
Okay.
It's a bit of a nuance there.
I thought maybe you were still going to lean towards the idea of someone died. Okay. But I'm not sure. Okay. I feel like it may be something that has, is there any vibration to this? Oh, I don't suppose it is a UFO by any chance, is it?
Why do you say that?
Because of the vibration right here.
What vibration in your neck. What does that
Yes.
mean? You never
I
had that
don't
before for me.
know. I know, but all of a sudden I thought, oh, UFO. Is it? Is it?
It very well could be. That's amazing. It's a possibility. I can't believe you. There you go. That was 4 seconds or something. You nailed it. We will get the details, but it's definitely a possibility. So well
Okay.
done. Kudos as usual. You beat me to it. Okay, we're going to head somewhere very different today.
All right.
To a place we've never been to, a continent we've never been to. We're heading really south. Any ideas?
I was going to say Mexico, but because UFOs are normally associated with Mexico, but
True.
maybe it's even farther.
It is. I'm going to get us geographically located. I would like you to look at photo number 1.
Okay.
It's a map, Google, the good old Google map that we use, that sometimes you get ooh from. And can you see photo number 1?
Yeah, we have Brazil.
We have Brazil. Yes. So a little further south than Mexico. We are in Brazil, and we've never explored anything in South America. And so far away, it's exciting. So let's zoom in into photo number 2 to see exactly the locale where we're going to be.
Oh,
It's
how do you
another
say
map.
that? Yeah, how do you say that?
Rio de Janeiro. Okay, you heard of it. That's how it's spelled.
Yeah, I was there.
And we're going to be in where the circle is across the water there, a place called Niterói, it's pronounced.
Niterói.
Okay. And you'll see in the middle of Niterói, there's a little star and it says Morro de Vintem. And
Okay.
Morro in Portuguese, because that's what they speak in Brazil, is mountain. So it's Vintem Mountain.
Which is mountain?
No, I don't know what Vintem stands for. I think it might just be like a name. It doesn't seem to be anything. Okay. So
Darn.
you never know. So we're going to get a little bit
Ooh.
closer to Vintem Mountain or Morro de Vintem. Have a look at photo number 3. And I really should, sorry, I will put this up for our audience. Here's Brazil on the big map. Ooh.
Just tilt
Okay.
it my way a little.
Yeah, there we go.
There we go.
Okay, there we go. It's just a light there. Yeah, there's Brazil. Okay. And here we are closer to where we're at, which is on the coast of Brazil. It's far down on the east coast of Brazil. Okay, and there's Niterói, and there's our little Morro de Vintem. Okay.
Okay.
Now, if we look at photo number 3, we have a satellite shot, but of the terrain of the actual Morro de Vintem. Anything grabbing you from seeing this very mountainous, as you can see, thickly forested, very uneven and rugged ground. We're focusing in this area here.
When I first saw it, I thought, hot dog, look at some dead people. But there also seems to be some, is it a volcano action attached to it too?
Not that I know of.
I'm wondering.
Okay.
But there are some dead people here. It could be a history thing. It could be like the Mayan temples. But there definitely is some sort of connection to death, alien abduction, and volcano. And there's a diamond there. And
there's a what?
A diamond in the mountain. It's an impression for me. So I'm still sticking to the alien.
Okay, cool. All right. I love it because that's certainly down the line of what we're talking about possibly today. So something happened August 20th, 1966. So quite a long time ago.
Wow.
On this mountain. Now, can you envision what might have happened on that day?
Just a minute. I'm going to have a look.
Oh, God.
Okay. I'm seeing several men just in fatigue. Okay, so maybe the military.
Okay.
And because the short hair and the brown, that cap that goes like this.
Yeah.
Okay, this doesn't feel like a drug raid. This is more looking, searching. There's dogs. Okay. So they are definitely looking for something. I don't think they're doing a dig because I'm not hearing the scraping that I would associate to a dig.
Okay.
There's quite a few people here.
Okay.
There is a map and I'm trying to find the coordinates. So someone's got their finger and they're running around the map and the little triangle, they're making lines trying to connect them.
Okay. Oh, wow. Wow. Okay. That's very interesting in that there was a search, but what we have is originally a young teenage boy who was flying a kite in August 20th, 1966. So hot, sweltery, I would imagine, day. Nice warm winds. He's flying his kite. The kite gets caught in, and you can see this pretty thick brush there.
Oh, yeah.
Not really a great place to fly a kite, but he's flying a kite. Now you're thinking something.
Did they find him?
He's okay. Okay. He's
Okay.
flying the kite gets caught. He has to go and get the kite, and that's when he discovers something.
A triangular thing on the ground, something that is reflective.
Okay, reflective is interesting. Keep that thought, because what he found, and I think it might work. He found something very odd in the ground. What he found was two men, okay, stretched out side by side, eerily still. They weren't like they'd fallen or collapsed. They were arranged as if they were going to be lying in a coffin, not with their hands across their chest, but like lying down straight, all right, face up. They were wearing matching gray suits. They were wearing waterproof coats, and they had something else
The
on
Matrix.
them. No, they had something else on them. Was very bizarre. Any idea what the strange something else was?
Okay. I'll go back to my idea of the alien abduction here.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. It's like, it's a fiber of some sort. It's not a phone. Okay. I don't suppose they had sunglasses on, did they? Or something that looks like a sunglass?
Wait, expand on that big time.
Okay. Like it's on a visor. Like when you wear a motorcycle and you put it on.
Think. How do you, come on, Darcy, how could you possibly know that?
Because I've got my eyes closed and I'm looking at them.
You're looking, you mean inside your head? Like I see
Inside
things
my head.
You're seeing visor?
Yeah, it was like a visor that, like, at first I thought they were sunglasses, but they're different than sunglasses. So they're like a visor.
Jeez, that's just it. You've done it. That's astounding, because each man wore a mask like Robin of Batman wears. Like
Oh, cool.
exactly. They were like a visor, but they were made out of lead. Lead, exactly, lead.
Oh, see,
So
I know there was a texture, but I didn't think it was lead.
it's lead. So would you like to see one of these visors?
Sure.
Okay, have a look at image number 4. And I'm sorry, audience, some of these images cannot be shown, and this is one of them, but you can Google it, find it anywhere easily. So there is an image of this visor, which is exactly how you described it, like a pair of sunglasses, but more sci-fi.
Yeah. That's really weird.
Isn't that weird? And if you look at photo number 5, you'll see the other visors. They were, each man wore a visor of lead, made of lead, handcrafted, smoothish. So I'm wondering if that's where you might have got this idea of a reflection. I don't know.
Yeah. I think they were I think they were welding, or they were doing something that had to be thick enough for them not to lose their eyesight, is what it feels like.
Okay, so they're wearing these as protection
Yes.
to something that, like a
like when you go through,
blast.
say, an X-ray or the red light.
Yep.
Like that.
Yep. Okay. This is, would you not say, incredibly bizarre? Two men lying flat, dressed
At that time?
on this hilltop, dead for a couple of days at least, because the young man smelled the decay. A big search was undertaken, as you described, with guys in fatigue and the little hats and dogs and maps and everything to see what was going on the hillside. And this is all they found. They're laid out in the open, lying there with lead masks on their faces.
Okay, so could the mask be, if they weren't doing something that was protecting their face, could the mask be something that indicates where, oh, I know the word I'm looking for, where we're remorseful of these people dying, therefore we don't want to see their face?
I don't know. You're the psychic. I have no idea. But
Yeah.
when the police arrived, they discovered there's no blood, no sign of struggle, like nice and relaxed lying down there, no obvious kind of sign of death. The bodies were decaying, and the masks, and just silence. They find also an empty water bottle, 2 wet towels, a notebook with a cryptic message, and we'll talk about that, written in Portuguese, logically. Okay. That's it. No explanation, no names. We didn't know who these guys were. 2 lifeless men staring up at the sky through these blinders, these lead blinders.
Yeah.
So I'm going to show you pictures of the 2 men. And
Okay.
again, these unfortunately are not public domain, so our audience is going to have to check them out ourselves. But let's have a look at photo number 6. Oh, sorry, they are public domain. I'm lucky. Okay, so this is our first fellow.
Okay. Miguel,
Yeah,
Jose, Vienna.
exactly.
Anna?
Vienna, I think. Yeah, nice looking fellow, about 30.
Yep.
Can you tell us anything about Miguel?
Interesting. He's got 2 different colored eyes.
I wonder if it's the light, or he could very well have 2 different colored eyes. I don't know, but it certainly looks in the picture that they're not quite the same color.
Yeah. Was that what he was dressed in? That kind of suit?
He
Like
was
a
not that exact suit, but a
Okay.
proper suit. Exactly. It happened to be gray as well as the same as the other fellow.
Wow.
So proper work suit, proper
Okay.
business suit.
Definitely feel okay. I would have said he probably was a very industrious young man who enjoyed his job. I feel like they're looking for something.
Ah,
Okay.
okay.
That they're on the prowl, but I don't know if it's what they drank, because when you said no obvious signs, I automatically thought they drank something.
Yeah, that's logical. There was an empty water
Yeah.
bottle. Okay.
They don't know these guys were like scientists of some kind by any chance, do they?
They will learn that, but yes, they were both quite skilled technicians with radio and television,
Okay.
and had a scientific bent, both of them. Absolutely. And I'll
So-
introduce you to the second one.
All right.
If you want, his name is Manuel Pereira de Cruz. And he's a bit
And a little rougher
shorter.
looking. Yeah. Again, no, see, he's got the same colored eyes.
Yeah, I wouldn't take a lot of
No, there's something
More on
about the
that.
eyes that seem to be important here.
Oh.
As though the eyes are, like I said earlier, they're looking for something. The glass was for protection, but I can see a light still going across it. So were they, I said it earlier, were they trying to mine something?
no. That we
Okay.
know of. Not on the mountain that day, no.
I'm still putting the thought that maybe they were looking for alien activity or something connected to alien activity.
How do you come to that?
Just his eyes.
Which one? Both of them? Or
No,
Manuel?
the Manuel. Yeah,
The second one? Manuel.
yeah. Something about his eyes.
They're very bright and staring, aren't they?
Yeah.
I find them startling, even in a black and white photograph. There we go. They're quite startling.
They are.
Okay. They were good. They were good, hardworking, as I said, intelligent gentlemen. They weren't drifters. They weren't fringe lunatics.
No.
They were in their 30s. They were well regarded in their profession as skilled radio and TV technicians. They had a keen interest in electronics. And according to friends, they were keenly interested in spiritualism and scientific spirit contact. What does that mean, Darcy?
Ooh. So they were trying to see if they could actually see spirit. Okay. But they were also looking for the possibility that there were other life forms on our planet.
Okay, so you're getting that from your initial comments at the beginning, where you were talking about them seeking something, and you had said UFOs and aliens right away. So are you now getting more information about that, or just getting a stronger sense of it?
I would think that just the feeling is they're okay, they're scientists on maybe a hobby level, but
Yeah.
they're trying to prove something. I still think they were looking for, beyond my ghost people, they're looking for something else.
Okay. The case was handed over to the police. Of course, they're baffled from the start. The men had left their home, which is about 200 kilometers away, August 17th, so 3 days before they were found, telling their families they were going to buy supplies for work, but they didn't. Instead, they boarded a bus to Niterói, and the witnesses in that area remember a couple of things about them. One, they bought the bottle of water, and they asked for a receipt, which the person who gave it to them thought was odd because it was just a bottle of water, not an expensive item.
Yeah.
They went into a bar, and a bartender said that Miguel was nervous and kept checking his watch, watching the time. And another individual saw them climb the mountain, Vintern Mountain. Okay. As the evening came on, after that, they were never seen alive again. So it took 3 days before the young man with the kite stumbled upon them. Decomposition, obviously, well in place, but there was no signs of them vomiting, no signs of convulsions or any obvious pain. So if you thought perhaps they ingested some poison, you might see a crunched up body, a terrible face, something, blood, vomit, whatever. Nothing, clean as a whistle. They did, of course, to undertake toxicology, but at the time, the coroner's office was really backlogged, took them too long, and by the time they did the tests, they were inconclusive.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's too bad. Ended up being no clear sign of death, no evidence of any violence, no indication of a struggle, just this bizarre mystery on the mountain.
It's totally bizarre.
Isn't it?
But if we were to go back in time and look, any chance there was a lunar eclipse, solar eclipse, some sort of alignment or star coming through like Halley's Comet, that they might have used the protection to protect their eyes for? Because that's the other thing. I just saw a moon around them, so I'm thinking lunar eclipse, something like that.
Okay, I don't believe so, but there were sightings of UFOs, lights in the sky. You're right. At that time, okay? There were also, as I mentioned earlier, a notepad was found.
Yeah.
And a weird little message written in the notepad in Portuguese. So I've given it to you as photo number 8.
All right.
And if you have a look at it, you'll see the Portuguese, and then below wrapped, circled, or squared off in red in English. If you wouldn't mind reading it, it's not grammatically as easy as possible, but it is what they've translated it as.
All right. So do I just get to read the English side?
Yeah, please do.
Okay.
I'll just let you read it.
4:30 p.m. be at the determined place.
Right.
And at 6:30 p.m. swallow capsules, after effect, protect metals, wait for mask signal.
Okay, so the first line, to be determined, go to a predetermined place at 4:30 p.m. That suits. Somebody saw them heading off in the late afternoon, early evening. Okay, that, I don't know why they're going there, but I can understand that. 2 hours later, you're supposed to swallow capsules, so that gives you an idea that there's some.
They're definitely taking something they shouldn't be.
Something, or maybe some hallucinogenic. Okay.
Yeah.
And then after effect, so after the drugs are affecting you, I think it says protect metals, whatever that means, and then wait for mask signal.
Yeah.
Don't know what that means.
I don't protect metals. See, maybe that's where I was feeling they were looking for something like mining, that type of thing. But you would think, wait for mass signals. Do they mean mass signals?
I don't know. That's the thing. It's not well understood. No. Now, there's a variety of translations on the net, but I found another one that is similar, but gives maybe a hint of something slightly different. So it reads, 4:30 p.m. be at the specified location. Okay, same idea. 6:30 p.m. take pills. Same idea. Protect the metals and await signs from the mask.
Yeah. but I'm thinking it's like a mass of signs, like the stars coming down, the shooting stars, the falling stars. Okay, if we go back to picture number 3,
Okay.
go back to picture
Actual
number
hilltop.
3.
Yep. Okay.
Okay, just a minute, I have to find it.
There it is.
All right. And okay, I know they have them there, but do you see the lines down here where it looks like there's
There.
maybe 2 houses? Yeah, down lower.
Okay.
looks-
Where those sort of white things are?
Yeah, I feel, and next to it is that clear spot that
Yep.
looks like a diamond to me. I
Yep.
think there might be or been something there, and that's what they were waiting for. It just feels like there's something has landed, something is there, someone is there, and that's what they're waiting for. So if it's not a UFO, then it's got to be something to do with or. I keep hearing or, and I don't know what they mean, or RE.
Okay, but OR even is gold.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Oh, okay,
So
there
it
you
could
go.
be OR. Like in French, it's door, D apostrophe OR is gold.
Okay,
Okay, I don't know what it is in Portuguese, but maybe. And ORE, of course, is or, another kind of
another
metal,
kind of metal.
another word for metal. Well, so you're thinking that possibly they went to this specific, there's obviously a reason they went to this hilltop, not just any hilltop. They went to this hilltop at a certain time on a certain day. They did certain things, take the capsules. I guess they drank some water or something. And then they had this idea to protect the metals. And you're thinking that might be some ore in that
Yeah.
hillside?
I
So
think
there
so.
could be something could have been mined there, is what you're thinking.
Yep. And if you look at, okay, I jumped ahead for a change.
Okay. Sure.
If you look at number 9, you can see so Aztec had to have been there as well at one point.
Yep.
For
Okay.
people, because in the background where you've got the guy standing like this,
Yeah.
like he's afraid to smell anything, and there's a person on the ground, I think, examining the other body.
I think
In the bush, you can actually see the headpiece and a person's face.
I can't unfortunately show this photograph. It's a black and white photograph. I should tell our audience that Darcy's leapt ahead of the actual discovery by the search team of the bodies. So we have a searcher bending over one of these bodies, and I think we have someone further up in a darker garb bending over another body. And you're saying something in that area is giving you.
Yep, I can see like a Aztec, call it chief, whatever. I can see him standing there. But interesting enough, is that a newspaper on the ground?
I don't know. I don't think so. I don't know. I think it's hard to tell by the light. And it's, to me, when you look at the picture, it's a very scrubby, brushy area. Right?
Yeah.
We're
it's
not
like being in brambles.
Yeah, brambles, exactly. We're not talking a nice place to lie down in the grass.
No.
Or a nice place to lie down on a warm rock. We're talking lying in the brambles.
Yeah. You're going to get a lot of scratches in that place.
Yeah. Like you really got to want to be in that exact spot for some reason, because it's not a spot you would go normally. When there are also, so they're protecting the metals, which you think might be that there's ore there, some precious metal in that mountain. And they're also going to await signs from the mask. The mask is what they're wearing, presumably. What signs could a piece of lead give them?
What if it was one of those ones we want nowadays where you put the glasses on and you can see all the information on the inside?
Like a hologram.
Yeah.
I don't know why they were lead. I can't imagine 1966, but who knows here? We're talking possible alien.
Oh, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking back in time. Time travel.
Okay, expand on that one.
If you think that if the metal, you take a pill to make your body relax so you can go back in time so you don't discombobulate from your body.
Okay.
Okay. And the metal is to protect the eyes as you stream through many layers of ghosts and everyone else to get to where you want to be. That would be definitely a shocker that could kill you. But that's not the case. That just sounded good.
That does sound good, though. I love that.
This has more to do, I'm going to say there's some underhanded business here.
Oh,
I don't feel like they were by themselves. Like when I look at this picture, I feel just because there are people there, I think there were people there before these people showed up, and not the boy who found them.
okay. So are you thinking our two young men were done by?
Yeah, I think they were led to their death for a reason. I think they knew something.
Ooh.
And that by, I don't know, I'll call it trickery, but knowing that they'd be interested in seeing something, especially if they were looking for ghosts or interdimensional, these guys would go look because that was the scientific aspect of their personality.
Okay, so you think these guys were duped
Yeah.
to believing they might get to see some otherworldly, interterrestrial, outer terrestrial, whatever opportunity on this mountaintop with these weird, because someone gave them those instructions so that they could then be victims. Somebody could come along and hurt them somehow.
Yeah, but they didn't have to. Whatever they took, I at first thought it was LSD, but it's not. Okay. Whatever I almost want to say nightshade, whatever they took was meant to have them die.
Okay. It's too bad we didn't have any toxicology, because we can't
I know.
prove. But obviously, if you're ingesting pills, it's not going to be just omega-3 or something.
No.
Some vitamin. It's going to be something, I thought, hallucinogenic. Maybe they thought hallucinogenic, but maybe it was not. Maybe it was something more poisonous.
But it could have been hallucinogenic with something added to it.
Or they could have just gone on a big trip, a really bad trip.
No, that's not looking like a bad trip.
Okay, it's not a bad trip?
No.
Okay, there was a lot of spiritualism and weird beliefs and amateur scientists doing things in the 60s in Brazil. So there might have been a culture of leaning into these woo ideas, which we love. So I think they were the types who were interested in trying to communicate with advanced civilizations or spirits from another world. Probably not ghosts per se, but as you said, aliens, UFO types.
Yeah.
They were tech savvy, so they might have felt this sort of experiment was legit.
Yeah, because if you think of all the TV shows that show the alien vessel killer, now they look like a squid. But when they were circular and they had that big light, that was blinding. So those would make it feasible for them to see, or at least not have their eye sockets burnt out.
So you're thinking they were led to believe they were going to experience a visit from aliens, and maybe even uplifted themselves into the alien aircraft, who knows? But they used the lead on their eyes to protect their eyes from that blinding, astonishing light.
But here's this, those must have been pretty heavy goggles.
Really? I would think I don't know how heavy they were and how thick they were, but I think they might like squish your head down a little bit. But I guess that's the protection.
They actually look paper thin.
They do. I don't know how thin they were. Were they like pounded metal? I really don't know. I don't have the details, unfortunately. But it sounds to me, when I looked at them, I thought they were more to protect exterior light from coming in than
that's how I see it
going out. Okay, so like radiation or an intense light or something.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you remember the Heaven's Gate group in the 90s in San Diego? Was a cult, and they had 39 people commit suicide all together in this house.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Okay, and it was, as you mentioned, it was related to the comet Hale-Bopp was arriving.
Okay.
And they had these crazy cult leaders who had convinced these poor, gullible people that their bodies were merely containers, and that they could take their soul to become another level being.
Wow.
a next level being, that they would rise up above the world and go to this other world, ascending to heaven or something in these new kind of bodies. So they believe that, my God, enough that they committed suicide to get there. So perhaps these fellows had sort of the same gullibility or need to experience something like this.
Yes.
And maybe this, your idea, the ploy that somebody led them here, got them to put the masks, make the masks, had the pills, ingest the pills, certain time frames, certain mountain. Okay, why? What did they know?
Funny when you say that. I heard nothing. They don't know anything. They were there to learn. Maybe the experiment was to see how long it would take, or if these guys were willing, if they were able to be molded.
You're saying these guys were guinea pigs
Yeah.
for somebody else?
Yeah.
Because somebody else thought maybe this was feasible, and we'll send these two dudes out first to see what happens?
I think there's, more people involved, like I said, than one knows.
There was a little inkling of a third person around, though there was never any evidence found, but there's a thought that there was a third person at least. That's totally different. I mean, the theories of it's been obviously a very strange experience. It's gone into the lore of Brazil, in fact, if not the world. There was no answer to the investigation. The police never found why they died. What was the point of any of this stuff? I wondered, they say there were wet towels. They were there for 3 days, and it was August, and it was hot. Why the towels would be wet? I thought that must be a mistake brought forward in the lore of it, because it made no sense to me. They should be towels that they
Dry.
wet.
Yeah.
Maybe they used them for whatever reason. I can't imagine. Maybe a cleansing thing. That's why the water bottle was there.
Depending on how big that water bottle, it could have been waterboarding.
Yeah, but the towels still wouldn't be wet.
It depends on how long it took to do it. But I'm not feeling that. This is almost like someone was cleansing them. You said it. It was like a cleansing.
So they used the water bottle and the towels to cleanse themselves. So this was like a purifying, cleansing ritual?
Yeah, maybe.
Wow.
It's funny because when I look, normally I can see their spirit. I can see a cat. I can see a goat. I can see that Aztec chief and a lady who wears one of those hats that have the veil over top of it and I can see all that, but I can't see them.
This is in our photo number 9, which is the hillside with the bodies. The bodies are there and you can't see them.
I can see the dead bodies, but I can't see them.
Okay. So when we talked last time, we were talking about the Flannan Isles mystery where the lighthouse keepers disappeared.
Yeah.
And you said, when I look at dead people, pictures of dead people, I can see them dead, but I know they've gone somewhere. They've done something.
Yeah.
Something's happened to them. But you're saying you can't see any future or whatever happened to these guys?
No, whatever happened to them expired not just their life, but their essence.
Wow.
So that's pretty amazing. So maybe they were part of that group that wanted to ascend to a higher level.
Yeah. So maybe it was alien contact.
Could be.
Could be.
I wouldn't put it past it.
Okay. Also could be, I don't know, like it couldn't be radiation exposure because who was
No, because there would be signs on them.
Yeah, exactly. Their eyes wouldn't be burnt out, but the rest of them might have been.
And I don't see any of that. I see the swelling and everything from being in the humidity, but that's about it.
Okay. Do you think it might have been a ritual suicide pact? Do you see that? No.
No, not at all.
It was, do you think it was really murder, or they were guinea pigs and it went wrong, or they were guinea pigs and it was expected to go wrong?
No, they were guinea pigs and it went wrong.
So somebody in Brazil in 1966 was conniving enough and loony enough to think this might be a possible that you could actually become another spirit or aliens would visit you. And they were able to dupe these two guys because these two guys looked into this kind of stuff because they were interested in that. And they were able to actually convince them to go and do this.
I think so.
Wow.
I think when we want to believe in something so bad, we can see it even though it doesn't exist.
Yeah. That's sad, isn't it?
It is.
But they're obviously two nice men with probably families and friends and a history and a future. And
Yeah.
they went and laid down on a mountain like the Jonestown people, Guyana, and these people of Heaven's Gate. Huge.
Yeah.
To give yourself up for that.
You got to believe.
You
There's
gotta
definitely,
believe, yeah.
you have to believe.
But wouldn't people around them know that they were a bit over the edge on this kind of idea?
Yeah.
Or would it keep
I've known people that you don't know that they're like that until it's happened.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm going to show you our last picture, which is 10. I can't let our group see it, but it's the photograph of the two men, and someone has superimposed the masks on their faces. So it's number 10, black and white.
Yeah.
So does that give you any more information? Actually seeing
Nothing.
the men in the masks.
No, nothing more than what we've already seen, but I definitely feel they were looking, mining. There's that it's about looking for something that we cannot see with normal sight.
Wow. So it wasn't in the mountain.
It was in or on the mountain.
Okay. Did they expect, but would it be coming from the sky then? They're looking up, they're protecting their faces from the sky?
Yeah, I want to say yes.
God,
I
it's
really do.
it's a
wanna
total
say
star
yes.
one. They're waiting for some signal from the sky,
Yeah, could very likely be.
and it's never going to come.
Nope. Or if it did, they never got to see it.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, if they did, it never got to see it. So, do you feel any energy in the mountain? If somebody did this once, would they do it
yeah.
perhaps another time? You couldn't find two gullible people again?
No, I think it was that one time, but there is definitely energy on that mountain, whether it's been a spaceship that has hovered over it, whether it's a volcanic reaction inside the mountain, but there's energy on that mountain.
Wow. Do you get a glimpse or an idea of anything they experienced themselves during that period?
I can honestly say that I feel like I'm in a vortex. You know, that feeling of turning around like when you're a kid and you put your arms out and you twirl and twirl until you fall down. I feel that. I like that is something I feel very strongly around the two of them. But I don't see motion on them. It's just this feeling like having vertigo.
What that might have been, what that might be caused by the drugs.
That could be.
What if there were drugs that they took in? Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. So we'll never know what they experienced, but it's certainly bizarre. I think you have come up with a neat idea about, and I don't think others have, as far as I know, nobody has really an idea other than these guys were a bit crazy, but nobody's come up with why somebody else led them here. Somebody else gave them instructions. If you and I were going to this mountaintop to do this thing, we wouldn't need instructions to tell us at 4:30 do this part, Darcy, and 6:30 do this. I think we just wing it ourselves.
Yeah.
So somebody is instructing these guys to do this?
Yeah, it feels like it.
Yeah. I mean, it's written down there. It's so bizarre. So that I don't think anyone looked for that person, that idea.
No, because I don't think they'd ever find them anyways.
I bet you they wouldn't do it again because it failed, and I think they might be at risk of being caught.
Yeah.
The next time.
I'd agree with that one.
So you don't think the guy suffered, do you?
No, not at all.
Thing?
I don't feel pain, suffering,
okay,
delusion even. I don't feel that. So I feel acceptance. That much I can honestly say. I feel acceptance.
Okay. But you don't feel that they've leapfrogged into another dimension. Although you say
So
you're
to say yes, but that's a no.
Yeah, okay. I'd love you to say yes too. That would be cool.
Yeah.
There you go. There's our investigation of the lead masks of Brazil. That was a weird one. I enjoyed that greatly, and I cannot believe at the very beginning you said something to do with aliens, which of course many people believe is why they went up there.
Yeah.
And that you coming, how could you possibly get the idea that they had masks on their faces, on their eyes? That's just astounding, Darcy. That's just bing, you done it.
That's okay. Surprised me too.
I'm glad to hear that. I hate to think you just take this stuff nonchalantly because I think it's so mind-boggling. So well done.
I honestly thought you were going to bring in another murder. And then I heard them go, that sound here, and it's aliens.
This idea of your neck is aliens? That's just so
Yeah,
weird.
it was just as weirdest feeling here. And it's, oh, I know that feeling.
Wow. Like I thought, okay, you're not touching your eyes. I figured, oh, if you touched your eyes, I might think you're getting the mask idea, but to go for the neck and then say aliens, come on. Well done.
That was fun.
It was fun. Thanks very much.
Okay. You have a good night.
You too. Take care of yourself.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Seeing Dead People, where goosebumps are guaranteed. We would love to hear from you with questions for Darcy about her psychic process or suggestions for other mystifying situations you would like us to investigate. Please shoot us an email to info@radiosidney.ca with Seeing Dead People in the subject line. New episodes air on our website, radiosidney.ca, on the first Saturday of every month. Episodes repeat Saturday nights at 8 p.m. and Sunday mornings at 10 a.m., both Pacific time. All episodes are available as downloadable podcasts at our website or on our YouTube channel, Nicola Furlong Mysteries. I'm Dorian Mortis, weirdly keen on seeing dead people. This has been a presentation of Radio Sydney.